So today I'm going to talk about a payment reminder app, how to build that using Power Apps, Excel and Azure functions. So when it comes to me, I'm Hansamali Gamage. I'm from Sri Lanka and I am a mom to a 1 year old, and I'm a coder and a blogger and a speaker as well, and I'm a VP in Microsoft Azure. The mainly I'm going to talk about the Power Apps. So I sometimes you may have experience, you may use Power Apps in your day-to-day life, maybe in your company, maybe in your personal use. So this Power Apps is a kind of a collection of applications, or we can say it's a collection of services. We have many connectors and data providers, like you can retrieve data from an Excel sheet, you can get the data from SQL database. So you can build Power Apps with many type of connectors available. And the beauty of Power Apps is, and the reason for being so popular in the industry is, it provides a rapid application development even for a non-technical person. And also you can connect your business data, your SharePoint, your Excel, your Office 365, SQL Server data to your Power Apps. Actually, it's going to convert your manual processes to digital and automated process. Sorry, my PowerPoint is like running. I'm so sorry about that. So your users can build their own applications without writing any code, even a non-technical guy. So for the developers, they can programmatically interact with the data and they can create custom connectors for their Power Apps. But for a non-technical person, for a business user, also can use Power Apps to build their application. Maybe when you heard about the first requirement to build the application, your clients or your users wants to have a MVP, minimal viable product. So you can start with the Power App. It runs on a browser, also in a mobile device. So you can start with the Power App and release the MVP for your users, for your end users and clients, and can get their feedback and develop your applications, maybe using Power Apps or else with a different platform. And also you can sign up for a 30 days trial to start using Power Apps, or else you can go for the community plan for the individual use. Okay, so yeah, so this is the case study I'm going to talk about today. So it's about we are going to develop a Power App, a very simple basic one, and from that Power App I'm going to write some data into Excel. That Excel file, I'm so sorry, my PowerPoint is running. Um, so we are going to write the data into the Excel file. From that Excel file, we are going to read the data through a Azure function and send a payment reminder as an email. So the mainly we are going to talk about the Power App and Microsoft Graph API. So that's also a kind of a hot topic these days. With Microsoft Graph API, you can access to all of your data inside your organization, maybe the calendar events in your Outlook, emails, your tasks, your meetings, your team members details, your users groups, everything. So, and also I'm going to use Azure function. So within the 30 minutes of time I may not be able to do all of the things, but don't worry, I have created the Azure function and uploaded it to push that into a GitHub repo, so you can have a look in that. And also I'm going to use SendGrid API to send an email. So we are going to build a Power App and going to insert or add some data into Excel sheet that's available in your Microsoft account, inside your Microsoft account. So we can access those data through the Microsoft Graph API, Excel API, and we are going to build that Azure function to do that. Okay, so shall we start the demo? So first of all, I will try to create a Power App. So you can say powerapps.com, and you have to provide your credential to log in there. So I have already logged in. So you can create I'm going to create a very basic Power App. So I'm going to start from the data. So I have my Excel sheets available here. So in my OneDrive, so this is the Excel sheet. So let's say in the beginning we don't have any payment details to be done for this month. So let's start with this Excel Online. Then you will be redirected to this window, so you can have a new connection. So from here you can say it's a Google Drive or OneDrive. So I'm going to use OneDrive. So I already have this connection set up. So if you click on that OneDrive for Business pane, so you can see the available files in there. So I have these two Excel files. So I'm going to use payment this Excel sheet, and it shows the tabs I have. So I'm going to select this tab and click on connect. Then in the background it's going to create me a application with the data available, as the data source as the Excel sheet. Okay, so since we have these data in the Excel sheet, it's going to show uh, those items as a list. So usually for a developer, for an engineer, the CRUD operations, create, read, update and delete operations, it's like kind of a boring stuff, right? Nowadays we have like AI, we have like machine learning stuff, we have like intelligent services to do so many things. So developers tend to think like do these CRUD operations is like boring stuff. So with the Power Apps, it's automatically create all of those CRUD operations, those screens, everything behind the scene. You just want to have a simple clicks, right? So let's run this application from here, and you can enter a new payment detail. Let's say I want to do some online shopping since I can't go outside. So I will say I want to do that by 25th. You can provide ID. If you want, you can remove this field from the create screen. And I will say I'm going to dedicate like $100 for that and save. So, oops, sorry. So it has been saved to the list. So if I go here and check my Excel sheet, that's there. Okay, so the first part is like the creating the Power Apps and saving the data into the Excel online is done. So now we have to create this Azure function to read this Excel file. So to read this Excel file from the function, you have to use Microsoft Graph API. So if I go here, so this is the Graph Explorer. You can go to the Google and just type Graph Explorer. So it shows this one. So you can go there and provide your credentials and log into here. So you can run these basic queries to identify, just to check what are the possibilities you can have in your applications with Graph API. So basic one is to just, if you want to just query about yourself, your email, your mobile phone, those stuff. So in this example, what we are going to do is we want to query this Excel file available in here, right? So if I go to OneDrive, so this Excel file, I want to read the data inside here. So for that, so if we move into the Graph Explorer, you have different set of APIs in Graph Explorer. So this is related to the application. This is related to the Excel file. If you want to do something with the Excel, so you have to use this Microsoft Graph Excel API. So if you want to get the Teams, Microsoft Teams information, so you can go with this API. So OneDrive files, so maybe Outlook emails, Outlook calendar, you have separate set of APIs to do those specific things in Graph API. So in today's example for us, what we want is we want to read the data available in the Excel sheet. So we have to go with the Microsoft Graph Excel API. That means we have to use these whatever in whatever the methods in here. Okay, so let's go to the Visual Studio. So I'm using Visual Studio as the IDE to create the Azure function. You can use Visual Studio Code as well. So I'm going to develop this using .NET framework. You can you can develop your Azure function with .NET, TypeScript, Python, Java as well. So, but for this demonstration, I'm going to use .NET. That's my favorite. So you can create a, if I start the Visual Studio, so you can create a new project. From here you have some options. C Sharp as the language. So let's select C Sharp. So let's select cloud as since we want to create Azure function. If not, you can go with other options as well. So let's select cloud option. So then you can see the web application is there, Blaze application also there. So now we want to create Azure function. You can click on Azure function and next, and you can give a name to Azure function. And from here you can select Azure function template. So since we are using IDE, so it provides some set of templates to create our applications. For a web application also same. So for Azure function also the same. So what we can do is we can select a template from here. So I'm going to use like a timer trigger. So that means at the end of every month I want to get a email to my I want to get an email to my inbox to have a reminder to settle the payments. Maybe you can set up for a 30th of the every month. I want to get a reminder, so you have to like allocate this much for online shopping. You have to pay the electricity bill for this much. Likewise, I want to get a reminder. So that's a timely one. It's going to change with the time. That means I want to set up it for the end of the month. So you have to select a timer trigger for that, right? So you can select a timer trigger and create. So from here you can provide a schedule. So this is a cron expression. So from the default one it comes is it's going to run for each and every 5 minutes time. Your function will run for each and every 5 minutes. Let's say now it's if it's 3 o'clock, it will start at 3 o'clock, 3:05, 3:10 and 3:15. So you can provide the schedule as you want. So yeah, so then you can click on create. So your function nav will be created. So I have already created the one, so I will start with that one. So then you will be able to see this. The function one class has been added. So I will change the font size a bit. I hope you all can see that. Okay, so this is the function, the main entry point for the Azure function. So from here, what I want to do is I want to retrieve the that Excel sheet. So I have written a method here. So if I go here, so now if you move into the Graph Explorer, um, this one, sorry. So if you we have retrieved our profile, your profile information using this graph.my, this one, the base URL with the version. You can change the version from here and pass in the endpoint as me. So you can retrieve your information, your profile information. For the Excel one, so now we want to get something, right? We want to read something. So then you can say this one. If you want to read the worksheets in a workbook, so this is the URL you want to pass, right? I hope you can see the URL. Okay, so now let's go back to the Visual Studio, and I will copy this one. Add. Okay, so yeah, so this is the base URL and the version, and then me drive you want to. So if we can go step by step. So then we can say drive. So you can get your drive information. Then we can go to the root. So this is the root of your the file structure, and then you can see query the children. Then you will be able to see that Excel sheet. So if you can see the Excel sheet. Okay, now let's pass this name. I will it. Okay, something wrong. I will, maybe I have misspelled. Let's check what is the file we are passing. It's payments. Okay. Okay, so now you can retrieve your file. Now what we want to do is, so if we go there, so now we want to get the workbook information. So let's type workbook. So your workbook is here. Now I want to dig into worksheets. Then you can see you have only one tab, you have only one worksheet named payments available. Okay, so now we have came up to this part. Then you want to pass the worksheet name. So that's payments on the query. So now you can see the the tab details. Okay, so the tab is visible. Okay, so you can hide the tab as well now. So now let's go in here. Now you want to retrieve the tables. Okay, So I will this one. So now you can see the table available. That means this one. Okay. Now we want to read this. Oh, sorry. Uh, yeah, this one. Now you want to pass the table name. So what's the table name? That's also payments. So if we go into Graph Explorer, you can see the table name is payments. So I will copy that value. Okay, so now table is there. Now I want to check what are the rows available. So these are the rows, right? So these are the data. Okay. Yeah, so these are the data. So this is what we have done in the function nav. Okay, so for here, if you check the Graph Explorer, you provided your credentials, your username and password and your consent, right? So if you check the request, so this is a get request. So if you check this access token part, you can see this access token related to your credentials, your username and password is passed to Graph API to get this data. So to your Azure function, you have to provide this access token. Okay, so that's what I have done in here. So you are creating a REST client and you are creating a request, get request and providing the access token as the authorization header. How we can create that access token? So in the Graph Explorer you have provided your credentials and you did that. For the Azure function you can create a OWIN class and get that access token. If not, you can go to the Postman. So I have done this using the Postman. So first of all you have to create a application inside the Azure Active Directory. So I will move into the Azure portal here. So I will move into the Azure portal. I hope all of you have Azure account. So you can move into Active Directory and under app registration, I have created this Excel Power App. So you can create a new registration with the name. I will say and you have to tell which type of account supported for this application related the application related stuff. That means this application is going to used by the Graph API. So you can say if you want to allow this application only to access only for a specific organization, you can go with this option. And if you want to provide it for multiple organization, many Azure ADs, you can go with the second one. If not, you want to provide it for any Azure AD plus any personal Microsoft account, you can go with the third option. So let's select third option. And for the redirect URI, you can provide the URI, but that's optional. So you can click on register. So your application, it's not allowed. Let's say uh, something wrong with the name. Let's I have already created this application, so I think let's move into there. So this one, so this is the application and you have to provide so in here, so now you want to provide something into this authorization header. So let's use O2 and you want to generate the access token for the graph. So let's click on the get new access token. So as the grant type, you want to get a authorization code, and you can provide the callback URL here. So if you provide a callback URL, I will move to the this one. So in here, the in the overview also it's there, redirect URI. So in here I have set up the redirect URI as this google.com. Since this application is not going to do any redirection, you can provide anything. So since I have used this one, you have to provide the same. Sorry, you have to provide the. Sorry, my portal just got vanished. It's something wrong with my mouse, I guess. So I will go there again. Reset it and so I will move to the Active Directory and app registration. The application we created is this one. So the redirect URI we specified is this google.com. So you have to provide that one in here. Okay, and you have to provide the authorization URL. You are getting this authorization from the Microsoft Online, this common, and you have to use this the v2 version and the authorized endpoint. For the token generation, you have to use the token endpoint, and you have to provide your application's client ID. So in here we created the application. So here your application client ID you have to provide, and also you have to provide the your client secret here. Okay, so you can generate a client secret from certificates and secrets. You can create a new client secret from here. Okay, yeah, so you have to provide those information and also the permission in here. So if you move to Graph Explorer, so you have to provide some permissions here. Okay, you should have some permissions to consent. uh, Usually it should come here, maybe something wrong here. So in here you have to provide the permission. If we go to the application and API permission in the AD, you have to provide this the profile to just to have your look on your profile. We queried the me endpoint in the Graph Explorer, so you should have this profile permission there to read the files available and those information. You have to allow this files dot read permission. Okay, so then let's provide that permission in here and click on request token. Then you will get a screen to prompt. Actually it came to my other screen. uh, so it just got logged in, since I have logged in from that one. So you have to get this access token, and so this is the same access token you have in here, and you can provide that in your Azure function as a setting here. Okay, now so you can retrieve your information. So I'm getting the response. So if the response is a success, uh, so you are going to get the details and generating an email message like this. You have to get these email settings. I got these from the email server, port, username, password, those stuff, and generating the email. Okay, so I will now I have hosted this function as well. Since we are running out of time, you can host this by right clicking and click on publish here. Okay, so I'm not going to republish this one. So I will move to Azure portal. So the advantage of having a Azure function instead of a separate application is you can run chunk of code inside your Azure function and also can host it uh, in a already available app service plan. So then it will not cost for you uh, for much. And also the Azure, so let's say you are going to up a server to do something, then it should be always online to serve your users request, right? But for sending some emails, generating some monthly reports or kind of things, you don't want to have a dedicated server to up and running. So because you have to pay for that. So since for that you can go for the Azure function. When the Azure function gets a request from the users to send the email, it will come online and serve the request and goes offline. So until the time for the time frame that's the Azure function running, for the time and for the resources that's going to use when the function is running, only for that amount you are getting charged. So that's the beauty. So your app function doesn't want to be always online. So when you want to send the email, it can come online and do his job and go offline. Okay, so now I have hosted this as payment reminder. So you have functions here. So we have our function with the name. I didn't rename this one. So it comes as function one then. So we have that. So you can go there and you can have the you can monitor that, you can test that also, and we want to provide these settings as well. So now we have provided these settings from here. Right now we have to provide these settings to the function app to run that. So you can provide that, sorry, uh, from here, from the configuration. You can provide the access token, these email settings from here. So I have disabled this one. So I will try to enable this to work. I will say enable and I will go to the monitor tab. So to do the monitoring, to have these logs, you have to create a Azure application insights account. So that's like just a small simple click. So from here you will be able to check the email message that's generated by reading your expenses from the Excel file. So if I move to my email box, I may have get the email previously. So sorry, my email box, I have to open it again. So I will open it from here. So this is the email message that I have got previously. Actually it's yesterday night when I was checking. So you have this type of email message you get for the expenses you have in the Excel sheet, right? So you have created the Power Apps from here. You can add your expenses into this Excel sheet, then your Azure function will read those things and send you a email message. So that's what about the demo. Okay, so we got something here. It says invalid authentication token. So the token has been expired. So I will paste this new token to here. Uh, so I hope it got copied. I will go to the function app configuration, and then I should see the access token, edit, okay, save, continue, and then I will move to functions. It's refreshing.
Hey, hi, Hansamali.
Yeah,
Just a quick time reminder. It's 3:50. Yeah,
yeah, I will take another 5 minutes.
yeah, not a problem. Just a quick time
Yeah,
reminder.
thank you. So this is the function. Uh, so this is the function. Let's move into the monitor tab and the logs. Yeah, let's see. So I have set up this for a 1 minute. That means each and every 1 minute this will be running. So let's wait and see if we are going to get some hit to the get a hit to the function app, and finally will it be going to send the email. So until that one time I will so we have gone through the demo. So I can show you the GitHub repo I have pushed. So I will move to my GitHub account. So a payment reminder. So from here, the coding part was the Azure function. So you can see the GitHub repo available here. So if the organizers are going to send these PowerPoint slides for you, then you will be able to get the URL and check it when you have some free time. So yeah, so it shows these logs. So email has been sent, and with 4 items, and this is the amount, and this is the email body. So if I move to the emails, yeah, so save. So this is the email. So we have got the email with the new entry for the June. Okay, so that's all about the presentation. Uh, So if you have any questions, you can ask me. So this, I think you have to fill out the survey.